Welcome back to another video, and really happy to have you here. And this time we have another Denon PMA 1500, but this time it's not the R version, but the AE version. So I'm not going to rename my channel to Denon PMA, but and you hear me say I have this amplifier from my dad often, but yeah, it's true. Both of us are interested in amplifiers and stuff. Mod, Denon, Thunberg. Yeah, so in any case, my dad, he bought the PMA 1500 AE in like 2000, I guess, 6 or 7. And that was on my recommendation because I had in 2004 bought the 1500R and was so happy with it. I had so much better sound than before when I had a 20 watt times 2. So I went to 70 watt times 2, and he was, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. So he bought it and he was happy, but after a while he said like, the sound is so thin. So I'm not going to go into details for hi-fi and stuff like that, because I don't really go into that much. I know a lot of people has a lot of opinions about loudness, but he said it doesn't have loudness. I was, oh, mine has loudness. But they are basically very similar, these two units. So he took the amplifier back to the store, and they took it to the service station and they tested it. And they came back and said, nothing's wrong with this amplifier. And then after that it was a bit like, oh no. Over the years, you can think it's like 2006 up to now, it's like 19 years ago. So during this time, he's been like, oh, what can we do? We can buy an equalizer, or we can buy a preamplifier. And we're like, yeah, but then you're actually buying a new stereo. And then a couple of years ago I said, okay, I looked at the schematic diagram for mine, and loudness is just like 4 components and like resistors and capacitors. Yeah, maybe let's do that. Let's just modify it. And here we are modifying. So this video has been sponsored by PCBWay, and I have designed some boards and they have supplied it for me for free. Yeah, so let's have a go at it. Nei, I dag det forsterker og sånne ting. So this is the rear of the amplifier. So when I first got this, I noticed that it doesn't have outputs for CD player and stuff. To have so many sockets, you just put power here and you can connect your CD player here. Even though it's missing loudness, it's more, maybe I've asked him to maybe buy some speakers. He actually bought a subwoofer and he was really happy with this together with the subwoofer. Just connects the subwoofer to pre-out, and he's happy with the sound. But he doesn't always want to use the subwoofer, so let's have a look what we can do to make it a bit like that one. There's 2 things we need to do with the modification, and that is find a button. Is this going to be just something I add, or is it something I reuse? I've gone with the reusing. I will show you that now. And then it's adding the loudness control. Found the switch unit, and we can see on the right side here there are some free switches, so we're going to use a multimeter and see if it's actually free. And bottom here, this is for P direct, but when we switch it to loudness, it will switch this relay next to it and we won't hear anything, so we need to disable that. So that's a plan. We have the circuit here. This is for 1510A. It's not the same, but it's very similar. You can see the free switches up here. It has extra switches for some reason on this amplifier. So we want to disable this relay. So what happens if you short it? Well then, so P direct will go to ground, and that's what we want. So that's the switch. And what's different from mine and my father's amplifier? So what's similar is that we have, you can see at the bottom here, we have tone unit. So the signal comes in from the selection, goes into tone unit, comes back. And if you have pressed the source direct, then it will just bypass it, I guess. The difference here is that I have loudness here in between these two, and we need L tap, which is kind of an output from the tone unit, and then L out. And those goes into the volume here. I was a bit puzzled about this volume. I was thinking, oh my god, maybe I don't have a center tap. Actually, I didn't know what a center tap volume knob was. But you need that for this circuit, and it has it. So this is good. Thank you very much. Yeah. And it's also different. I will have to simulate that, but we see a 470 here, which goes to the L tap, L out, actually. But on my circuit, it's 470 and a small capacitor. It's not on the volume board, so we might need to connect here and not on the actual connector. So that's it. So we have simulated the circuit, and this is basically it. So we put in a signal here, and then we have the volume wiper on the right side. So I'm simulating that as well. We have a center tap, and that goes into this is the tone board, and this is bass on the right side, and we have treble on the left side. So here's the loudness circuit. As you can see, it's really simple. And yeah, so what we need to do about that is basically connecting it. L tap goes to center tap, that's it. And then you have L out, or left out, which goes to this side. So you can also see that L out goes to the top of the volume knob, which is out here. So let's run it, and there you go. And we have about 8 decibel of bass, and we can also see that the 3 decibel mark is around 200 hertz. We have 3 decibel at around 3 kilohertz. I think this is mimicking the ears. So basically, when you have a low volume, you will hear, I think you will hear bass and treble worse than mid-range. So by pressing loudness, they are compensating. That's why it's called low volume compensation. Some say that instead of loudness. Okay, since I have you here, let me quickly show you what it looks like on my amplifier. Yeah, so it looks a bit older, and that's because this one was made in like 98 or something. That's why the schematic looks older. And here you can see we have the 470 up here, and this is what I believe is L out, yes. So it's the marked line here, goes to there, into this one. So in here you can see that the loudness circuit is connected here. This is loudness, all of this stuff, and it's before these two, which then goes out here. It's a bit convoluted, that's why I drew it again. It goes to the volume knob out here. So you probably lost me there, but I'm just saying that we have to connect before this one, which is on our new board. It's inside here. As you can see here, it's not inside here, it just goes out, and then you have 400 ohms here. And in here you can see it is inside here, and it comes on L out in here and just directly out. So okay, we are in Audio Analyzer. We have connected the analog discovery, and I only have one ground. I don't have a ground on this one because this is not the correct one, because this one has same ground on both sides. The amplifier doesn't like that, so it won't be perfect, but we should be able to see at least something here. So P direct off, source direct off, low volume. We also have a 8 ohms load out here. So I guess now it's just in order to turn it on. Right, so I need the correct input as well. Okay, let's turn it on. Yeah, this looks a lot more better. It's a lot flatter, as you can see. Look at that. Okay, let's try an experiment. Take the bass to the bottom and then treble to the bottom. Okay, let's see what happens then. All right, very nice. Let's go the other way on both channels. And maybe we need some higher top. Let's run. There we go. And yeah, I guess that's 8 decibel. I will repeat the experiment just with the other amplifier or my own. So just be careful here not to touch anything. Which is easier said than done. Actually smells a bit. It's a bit dusty, I guess. So, let's see. Oops. DVD aux, I guess. And then we have source direct, loudness off, bass and treble in the middle. Let's do exactly the same and we can compare afterwards. And the volume was about here, I guess. So. Okay, cool. Let's try full bass, full treble. Sorry, I lost the video for a moment there, but look at that. Looks like about 8 decibel that as well. Do treble and bass to bottom. And finally, when this is done, we can compare. But we also will have loudness on this one with a treble and bass in the middle, I guess. Seems to be a bit harder on the bass there, or does it? Okay, or lower, I mean. So, treble and bass in the middle, loudness. See what that looks like. Yeah, that's about the same as we simulated. Let's go full on the bass. Looks like we have to go one more. There you go, 12 dB. Oh, that's a lot actually. So go to full minimum on both, balance, no, sorry, bass and treble. Yeah, so with bass to the bottom, it looks like mid-range is flat. Everything is flat, almost. Yeah, so then we have a reference now that we're going to modify the circuit. So here we have the tone board, as you can see. Okay, so I've loosened up 3 nuts here and then disconnected this cable. Yeah, and that's what needed for disconnecting this board. So, but before I take it out, just want to show you what kind of space we have in here. Initially, I was thinking of just putting SMD capacitors here, like soldering in between and then making like a bodge here. Same on the other side. I don't have so much space to work with, but I can use this space. That was what I was thinking, and then run wires back to this board here to get L tap and L out and R tap and R out. But I'm not sure if I want to do that, so I think I need to take that decision now, actually. So let's see what I come up with. So let's have a look at the board. And let's see. Here you go. There you go. Operational amplifier. You can see some funny looking capacitors. Alright, so these are potentiometers. You can see they have, I think they have 7 pins. So yeah, so let's figure out where to connect. I'm not sure yet. Ooh, I found a way that was better than having something going between two boards. So, remember I was talking about this V70 thing? Where the 470 ohms are 327, which is not on my board. On my board it's up here, but it is up here. However, it's shorted. So what if I replace that one with that one? Then I will have both L-tap and a signal. And yeah, I think that's it. Because then I can just wire from here to here and not between boards, which is a bit more. So do I have space for that? Well, have a look. I think the short answer is yes. You see there's a lot of space here. So while I was ordering components, I noticed that something was wrong. And you can see on the P-direct switch on the off position, which is here, we have connected tap. So let's see what's tap. Okay, L tap comes up here. Goes into, okay, so it goes into the common side. So that's incorrect. Yeah, we can just do this and then ta-da. Okay, so now we have tap on common. Okay, so that's it. So let's save that. This is the board, and I think it's very small. It's only assembly. This video has been sponsored by PCBWay. So PCBWay has made the boards for me, and I've designed them, of course. And let's have a look. I've already opened it, so that's why it's, I guess, looks a bit weird. There you go. So let's have a look. So this board is made by BWAC in 2015. No, it's actually 2025. So what's going on here? So we have wires going here and wires going here. And they go to the switches on this side and then to the tone unit on that side. So we'll have a look at that. So the second thing, and then we also have to solder also up here though, all the components. Just resistors and capacitors. And then we have to do something on the tone unit and the switch unit. Basically, I have to swap those two components between 303, 327 and 304 and 328. So this is more for remembering that. So let's have a look at that. And in the tone unit, you can see R27. It's a bit far away, I guess. So R27 there. It's going to be taken off and replaced by the short, which is 303 here in the middle of the screen. So, and then you put the resistor here. So we basically swap between the boards. You do the same with R28, and R304 as well. So I'm really excited that this is even possible. So because this is the PMA 1500 AE, and this model doesn't have loudness, so that's why I'm modifying it. And I'm just so relieved that it's possible, because the 1500R, which I have, is just a couple of years younger than that, or it's the previous one, I guess, of that model family. So that one has loudness, and it's still available on the board. That's kind of weird. Like they put a link and a resistor in different places, so it kind of saved me there. So I hope it will work. I haven't tested it though, so let's have a look. So this is the switch that I'm going to reuse. You're going to solder a bridge here in order for it to disable the P direct, which I'm not going to use anymore. And then this is how we're going to mount this board. Going to run wires from here to this switch. You can also see that this switch has 3 contacts here. Nothing is used there. And on the other side, in the places around here, we're going to attach these signals. So I think this will be great. We don't have to run wires between the 2 boards as I initially thought. But yeah, so this is cool. So here we have the modification, and I'm pleased to say it's done. It's glued down, as you can see, with a double-sided tape. And it has been tapped off on the sides, and this is the switch. As you can see, it says on there, so that means it has to be the one when this one goes in. These on the top here are on, and out is on the bottom. So anyway, so that I'm happy with that. So the other thing I also had to change, as I think I already shown you this, but I can show you quickly. I replaced R28 there with a link, same with R27 on top, there and there. And the resistor that was on that board, R303 and R304. So yeah, so that's that. So I'm happy with that. So I need to disable this relay as well. When you press it in, we don't want the relay to get on. It's called the P direct switch. So that turns on the P direct switch. That's why I have this sort of bridges things here. So it will keep itself in the ground, grounded, yeah. And then I've also tried to look as careful as I can with a, if I look through the loop like this, I try to put you in the loop here. Didn't sound right, but anyway, board in between there, so there's no short, so there's no flux in between. You can see that is on the board as well, between the pads there. The soldering is licking up on the side of the components, which is also important for good contact. And then you have this one, this looks good. This one looks okay. So this is a problem I had with my amplifier, as you saw in one of my first videos 2-3 months ago. That amplifier blew up because I hadn't cleaned it after soldering, so I probably also had some solder balls, so that's what I wanted to clean it so well. So yes, I took a screenshot and then I flipped it over, because the problem was that the board was on the top side, but I wanted to have the signals on the back side, so I had to flip it. But anyway, as you can see, R-tap, it's a bit hard to hold it still, but you can see how I traced it out. That's why we have all these connections here though, right, corresponding to the tap and out on the board there. So Okay, we are ready to start. I'm a bit nervous as per usual. So we have our load here, our probe here, going into the analog discovery, and we have the signal in on DVD aux. So the first thing to do is of course turn it on. Hopefully everything's okay. Okay, everything seems fine. Let's start the test. Turn into middle, like this. Then hit run. No, it doesn't seem to be working. So I need to troubleshoot some more. So I have no idea what's going on here now. So okay, looks like it's working now. And that's perfect. So look, we have a curve. I haven't seen this curve before. So that's a bit worrying. Is it a bit different than before? Is it a much? It's like, it's not even half a decibel. So, okay, let's do some tests. What if we press the direct switch? Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we have loudness. That's for sure. Oh yeah, there it is. It's not that far. So let's do 10 decibel and bottom, I guess we can do closer to 0. Sounds freaking fantastic, but I get a copyright. Fortunately, my father already has the amplifier now, so I can't do any more changes to it. And he has had it for a week now, and he's really happy with it. The thing is that I used components from the component book there in the middle there, and it had X7R components, and I think X7R is not maybe the best suitable for audio, so that's why maybe I had some weirdness in the measurement. And also the tone board is not exactly the same. It has some different values in the components, so that could also be it. So you saw one of the graphs wasn't very straight, to be honest. As you saw, I did the first measurement earlier in the video and you saw it was much more perfect. And my father is happy with the result. He told me that the music is now filling the living room. I'm still waiting for the C0G SMD parts for this, but they never came. Or I gave it back to him before I got them. So, but I think it sounded good on loudness. So yeah, it's a bit hard to convince people over the hit, and it's kind of a hot potato, this loudness thing in the hi-fi world. So I wonder if that's the reason why they removed it as well, because people were complaining that it wasn't seriously hi-fi if it had loudness. But then you have a group of people that really relies on it. So yeah, so thank you very much for watching. See you another time. Bye bye.